All right, game two. What do we have here? So the big thing I'm noticing here is there's no draw, so you can't really build an engine. I think you do kind of have to get clean anyway on account of if you keep junk in your deck, chariot races are going to score a ton of points. 5-2 looks terrible. Like really terrible. Like horrendous. I think I'm just opening Lookout Candlestick Maker. But, I mean, in is not good in the early game. Royal Carriage is doing nothing if I don't have a good action to use it on. I think it's just Lookout Candlestick. Today has just not been the day for 5-2s. I played the match with John earlier today, and that was characterized by, I think, both myself and John repeatedly getting 5-2s in kingdoms where they were horrible. I don't want another candlestick. Oh, good. 5 again. Here, Royal Carriage is more reasonable. I at least got to look out in my deck that I can use it on. I'm in a terrible spot, though. Again, I feel like a significant part of this kingdom is just thinning quickly so that those chariot races don't end up hurting so much. And, well, he's got 2 lookouts and has gotten to play them more. And so he's going to be very thin very fast. It's going to be tough for me to catch up effectively because, you know, Lookout's going to get progressively worse at trashing as the game goes on. And so if you can't get thin fast, well, then you're just going to start randomly trashing good cards, trying to find the last junk. So, like, what he's doing is what I would really like to have been doing. Have my draws allowed it. I don't think I can justify a second lookout, just because, like I said, they're going to get pretty finicky pretty fast. And so my hope is to mostly use the Royal Carriage as a de facto second lookout most of the time early on. And then I can pivot to calling Royal Carriage on other cards later, like Chariot Race or something. I think I would rather a Chariot. He needs the Snowy because he has 2 Smugglers, but I do not have 2 Smugglers. Do I want the Smugglers on top? Probably. I mean, ideally, I would keep the Chariot on top and then draw back to the Smugglers. But I don't have the level of deck control that makes me want to risk that right now. Maybe I can take Snowy Village now? Do I even need that? I mean, it's worth 2 points if nothing else. I kind of don't want to touch Chariot Race, because then he'll just smuggle the rest. And I think Snowy Village helps his deck a lot less, since he's already got one. And so if he smuggles 2 of those, I'm more okay with it. I wonder if Improve will ever be good. The big limitation is, I mean, gaining 5s and 6 off of it is nice, but like the stuff you're turning your cards into is like, the only 4 is a Dismantle, which is, I could see it being useful here, but it's not like the best card or anything. But like in an ideal world, I think you could pick up an Improve and improve your Lookout into Dismantle once the trashing becomes obsolete. And then maybe later improve the Dismantle into a Duchy or a Royal Carriage. So I've got 5 coppers left in my deck, of which 2 are in hand. So I'm going to draw the Lookout, and I think it's worth playing it, because I think the odds that at least 1 copper are in the top 3 of my 7-card deck will be pretty high. I would also not mind trashing this candlestick maker at any random point. I've banked up a few coffers, which may be helpful in the end game, but like if I could get rid of it again, I'd be fine with that. So he deliberated there and then didn't buy anything. My guess is he had some smugglers in hand and was considering whether to smuggle Snowy Village and decided it wasn't worth it. Oh, hello. Lots and lots of coppers. So now, he gained nothing, right? Pretty sure he gained nothing. So, there's no point in me smuggling anything. Now, give me this awkward standoff. There's cards I want, but if I gain them, then he gains them, and I don't want him to have them. And his deck is super duper thin, so I feel like what's going to happen is he's almost certain to find both smugglers, and anything I get one of, he gets 2 of, and that's not a good trade. So the question is there anything I can buy that helps me more than giving him 2 copies would help him? Like, I want Improve, but he could take the Improve and use it productively. I want Chariot Race, but he would happily take the last 2 Chariot Races, I'm sure. It's a sticky situation. I think I just pass, honestly. Smugglers can be awful sometimes. Okay, I got a Chariot on top. We're really in the danger zone here with Chariot Races. There's like a few coppers left, and we both have a bunch of chariots. And so having a copper on top of your deck could score them a bunch of points as well as a bunch of money, which would be very bad. He bought that candlestick maker on top deck. That's another reason to kill the candlestick if I can, is to avoid this problem of it scoring your opponent points. I don't think I'm going to need the smugglers because I don't want another candlestick maker right now. I think I'm going to call carriage on the chariot race. The hope was to find the lookout and then I would score a point off of it, but it didn't happen that way. Okay. So I do not want candlestick maker, so I'm not going to play that. I think I'm just going to take all of the chariots. Cost a lot of coffers, and I've undone all that work I did building up the coffers, but he can't smuggle it now. So I managed to acquire a thing without it getting copied. Now, I'm not sure realistically how often I'm going to win. He is really thin, and getting that candlestick maker top deck was kind of lucky on my part. But if he top decks any of the random 3-cost cards, I've only got 1 card in my deck worth more than 3, which is the Royal Carriage. So I'm not going to win a whole lot of races. Candlestick. Copper. Oh, thank you very much. I will happily take that. I should probably play the lookout now, right? To just guarantee that this chariot hits. There could be some bad outcomes, but this is not one of them. I'll take that. And I don't think it's important enough that I get the Royal Carriage down. I'm just going to take more chariot race hits. Play candlestick. Chariot. And he didn't gain anything. So we are still not using the smuggles. So now we're getting into the situation of, what do I buy? I really don't know. There are certainly cards here that would improve my deck. But are there cards here that would not improve his deck? What's the copper trashing look like? 10 have been trashed. I've trashed 4 coppers. So he's trashed 6 coppers. Why does he have 3 points? Oh, because he's got obelisk and then 1 victory point. I'm considering perhaps in, because discarding the coppers can help me to trash the last few, which are going to be very difficult to line up with lookout otherwise. And I think that helps me more than him. I mean, there's a benefit that applies to both of us, which is that it's a 5-cost card, which means it'll win a lot of chariot races. But that benefit also probably helps me more than him because I've got more chariots now. So I think I'm going to take in. Actually, do I want to shuffle them back in? I think I actually don't want to shuffle either of them in because I want to hit them with the chariot race for the points. So I'm going to buy them and then shuffle nothing. What's on top? Please not copper. Chariot race. I can live with that. He has no cards costing more than 3. So as long as I don't top deck a copper or a candlestick, he wins no races. Yeah, so he took the in. Still probably better than nothing for him. He still has that 1 other copper to get rid of. Something good on top, please. Candlestick. Thank you very much. I have been getting, I think, a bit unreasonably lucky with these chariots on the whole. Like, his deck is mostly 3-cost cards, but he has top decked candlestick and copper a decent number of times now. Well, what's down there? There's a royal carriage, there's an inn, there's 1 copper, right? There's 1 copper down there. And some chariots, I think. Yeah, I've got 6 of the chariots. So it's a copper in royal carriage, 2 chariots. So the odds I find the copper are 60%. Otherwise, I trash a chariot race. Are those good odds to take? I kind of feel like that's worth it. Damn it. Well, goodbye, chariot race. This is what I was saying. It makes a lot of sense to get thin early. Because otherwise that happens. And there's just no way around that. What did I top deck? Chariot race. Okay, that's fine. Oh, yeah. I've also got both of my 5s on top, even though I discarded the carriage. These are the races I'm likely to win, is my chariots drawing in and royal carriage. So I don't want to see them in my starting hand all too much. I want to draw into them. All right, so he's got rid of his final copper. I still have 3 left, which is a pain in the butt. Okay, so let's in. These draws are not being good. Okay, so now those top cards are a chariot and a smugglers. So if I play the lookout, I can either trash a copper or a candlestick, both of which are not bad. And then I could just leave the carriage down. If I call the royal carriage, I prefer that line. Firstly, it guarantees that I trash the copper, which is better. And then secondly, I actually kind of want the carriage to not be on the mat because it helps me win chariot races. And I think we're still buying nothing. This kingdom is a pain in the butt. I'm pretty sure I also played a Smuggler's Kingdom with Crabcat at some point. that went really badly for me. Or maybe that was versus Recycle Garbage. I do remember having a Smugglers game go awful. Has he killed a Smugglers yet? No, he's still got 2 of them in his deck. Oh, he top decked in. That bastard. So that means I'm going to win 0 races no matter what. Okay, so I have a copper down there. Let's play this now and kill it. And what did he gain? Click, 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 click. Nothing. So I think I draw the carriage and play it. Like I was saying, I don't like having the carriage down because I'd rather hit it with the chariot. But the alternative was it being on the top of my deck anyway, so I couldn't have hit it next turn either way. This kingdom is stupid. I don't know what the end game is here. Just build up coffers one at a time with Candlestick Maker until you can buy a province. I've got this one last copper to get rid of, and I think I should be able to do that this turn. And then we just play Candlestick Roulette. At this point, I'm wondering whether it's even sensible to trash Candlestick Maker if I can. Like, I should be able to trash copper this turn if I find the inn and discard it and then hit it with Lookout. But, like, the way this game is going, it seems like the only thing we accomplish every turn is to bank up 1 coffer per turn with Candlestick. And so maybe I need that around. Come on in. Come on in. There we go. Okay. So now I am upset that the inn was second from the bottom, because that means I'm not going to be able to draw and do as much as I wanted to do here. I want to call carriage on Smugglers and gain some more carriages. And I think that means I'm just not going to get to play everything this turn, but that's fine. And I guess we're keeping the Candlestick for the moment. I mean, I could trash it here, but now I really want to call carriage on Smugglers to gain 2 more royal carriages. So we're going to do that instead. So now he's going to gain like a bunch of carriages himself, but I can't really help that. It does mean now might be a good time to buy Improve, because if he's busy smuggling carriages anyway, I can at least get Improve in my deck. That might help. I think in general it seems like now is a good time to buy things, because carriage is going to be the highest value target no matter what. His Smugglers are going to be occupied gaining carriages. So I might as well put something in my deck of value. And I feel like that's probably Improve, right? I can improve the Lookout, which is good because I don't need it anymore. I'll need to play it somehow and trash something. Maybe that just means the Candlestick dies now. But then I can get the Lookout out of my deck, turn it into a Dismantle, maybe get that Dismantle up to something else. And then I can also probably improve the inn later into like a harem or something. I think the Improve is worth it. Not a bad starting hand. I mean, I got 2 carriages in the top, which is not ideal. But at the very least, I'm getting to play a bunch of chariots for sure. Now I'm wondering if the thing that happens here is you bank up a bunch of royal carriages and just keep them on the mat so that you're constantly threatening to have like a 7 smugglers turn, so that if they buy anything other than province, you just take all of them and then win. That's going to be annoying. Yeah, so now he's going to gain a bunch of carriages. He killed his candlestick. That makes sense. The candlestick maker is honestly like a huge liability. Just because of the random chance that you have it on top of your deck. So he has taken a ton of carriages. I will ideally take the last 3. Maybe that's all I do this turn. Maybe I just take 3 carriages. I mean, I've got smugglers and 2 royal carriages in hand, so that's kind of guaranteed if I want it to be. I mean, I don't get to do all the like improve lookout stuff, but maybe that's fine. We'll see what I draw. My guess is I'll probably call a carriage on at least 1 chariot race, so I can play the lookout, not the lookout, the improve that I know is on top of my deck. And then hopefully draw another carriage and still get to take all 3 carriages. Okay, it's got smugglers on top. Well, there's a village. So I could just play snowy, play improve, play smugglers. Honestly, I'm not sure how much it helped. I'm going to call a carriage on one of these. See what we get. That worked out pretty well. And then I press my luck and draw further. No, let's do that. Oh, well, I would have gotten 5 more victory points. Not 5 more. One more victory point, because there's a 5 cost on top. So the issue I have now is I could play the inn, play the improve, play the smugglers, gain all the carriages, and be fine. And then I could theoretically improve the inn into something. But then if I turn it into gold or harem, he just smuggles a bajillion of those. The threat of him having a ton of golds in his deck wouldn't worry me so much, except that means he could like smuggle all the golds and then buy like an estate or something for like 8 victory points, and that would be bad. So the top of my deck has 3 chariot races, a lookout, and a candlestick. I think I do actually want to call this one more time. Continue. I really want to trash the candlestick, and I'm going to be able to do that here, I think. Am I? Shoot. I need the lookout to not be right there. How does this work? So if I discard candlestick, chariot, and play lookout, I've only got a 50-50 shot of killing the candlestick. If I discard, let's say I discard chariot, no, not that. Let's say I discard candlestick, improve. Now I got 4 actions left. I spend 1 playing chariot. Then I draw a chariot. I spend 1 playing improve. Not improve, lookout. Then I definitely hit the candlestick. That's 2 actions spent. Then I have to spend 1 playing the smugglers to get the royal carriage. And then I could draw the improve again with the chariot that's in my hand, but I couldn't play it even if I did. It'd be 1 action short. Yeah, what this is all boiling down to is, I mean, I couldn't have known my deck was ordered this way, But had I called that royal carriage on Chariot Race when I was contemplating it instead of on Snowy Village, I would be in actually a great position. So I think I'm just taking the 50-50 gamble, right? Let me just double check that this doesn't work. So discard Chariot Improve. Or, no, discard Candlestick Improve, play Chariot. Play Lookout. It's Chariot Lookout, Chariot. Yeah, it's one action too many. So I think I just take the gamble here. Damn it. Well, so we're now at 4-4 on Chariot Races. But such is life. Let's turn that into Dismantle. Now he could smuggle Dismantles if he wanted to, but I don't think getting Dismantles into your deck is actually like a good thing. It's just that the Dismantle is now less of a bad thing than the Lookout is. I'm really bummed. I've taken a 60-40 gamble and a 50-50 gamble on trashing the Lookout, and both of them have failed. What are the odds of that? So basically like a 1 in 5 chance, right, that my odds are this bad. Alright, he's killing smugglers now, which makes sense. So the top card of my deck is a carriage, right? Yeah, so I should play Chariot first. Nice. And maybe just take a few more stabs at getting it. Now, what the hell does this in-game look like? Like, if I touch Duchy or Gold or Harem or anything, he's just gonna smuggle them all to hell, because he's still got 1 Smugglers left. Quite the conundrum. Do I try to Province? Like, if I find 2 more Royal Carriages, I could call them on Improve and then Province. I think that's a goal, right? Province will win me a lot of races, if nothing else. I like that. I just scored a lot of points. I can get this Dismantle out of my deck and turn it into something now. Would I rather call the carriage to save me a coffer, or would I rather keep the carriage on the mat? At this point, it's not obvious that having carriages in the deck is better than having them on the mat, because my deck is not going to like be able to draw itself reliably from here on out. Unclear. I think I'm just going to turn the Dismantle into an inn. I mean, I turned it into a duchy, except then he would gain like 1,100 duchies off of that. And again, like, Dismantle into inn is an improvement, but just gaining in for nothing at this point I don't think is an improvement to his deck. Oh, I just thought of something. Do I want to shuffle any of these? I kind of do, don't I? If I shuffle the Candlestick in, well, then there's a 0% chance I top deck it, which seems like kind of important at this point. So maybe I'm putting Candlestick on top. So here's an idea. How many carriages do I even have? I gotta go count the royal carriages. But supposing I get a bunch of royal carriages down, then I play improve, and I call all of my carriages on improve. Now all the carriages are in play, and then I improve all of the carriages into harems all at once. That could be a nice way to end the game. All right, let's count this out. Gains a royal carriage. So 3-1 for me, 3-3, 4-3 for him, 4-4, 4-5, 4-6, 6-4. So I got 6 carriages. So if I were to like bank up the carriages and then call them all at once on the improve, I could gain like reasonably almost all the harems, if not all the harems. Like if I had candlestick for plus buy, or if I had an inn in play as well, I would end up getting a bunch. Yes, I think that's my new game plan. Is we are not going to play our carriages. We're going to bank them up. He's doing the same thing. So now I'm worried that maybe he has the same idea. If he does that, is enough points for him? 6 times 2, 8 times 2. 16 points. That actually wouldn't quite be enough for him to win on its own, even if he got like all 8 of the carriages, or all 8 of the harems at once. But it is worrisome. He gained nothing last turn, right? Yeah, he gained nothing. I don't think I'm doing it this turn, am I? Maybe I do it this turn. Maybe I just go ahead and pop the improves for a bunch of harems, even if slightly prematurely, because he can't smuggle them back or he'll pile out on himself and lose. And if he doesn't smuggle them back, I just like buy the last 1 or 2 harems, however many, over like the next few turns. Because I feel like my biggest risk of losing right now is if he just like has some like miracle pile out from these banked up carriages. And so if I just take a big points lead, I protect against that. So I've got 3 carriages down, and I got an improve. So if I call all the carriages on the improve, that's 8 money, 9, 10, 10 money. So it's not quite enough to buy 2 harems. But it does mean I could get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 harems, which is a big enough points lead that I think it should be decisive. So I'm going to do that. All right, so we're just going to do it now, right? It's a little bit premature, but I think it presents him with a bit of a fait accompli, in which there's just like nothing he'll be able to do about this, even if I've revealed my grand strategy a little bit early. So I could take, no, I should not take Snowy, because then he'll smuggle all those for points. I was considering taking silver to power up the harems by 1 for like aqueduct points, but he could do the same thing. He could like smuggle a bunch of silvers. So I think I'm just taking lots of harems and like nothing else, right? I could take a non-scoring thing. I could take like improve or something, because that wouldn't hurt me if he smuggled more improves. So maybe I'm doing that. Or I could just take province. I could do province and 4 harems, and if he smuggles 4 more harems, that's fine with me. And buys. Now we're turning that into harem, and that, and that, and that. And then if he smuggles harems, I just win this turn. Look at the sand. What a weird game. And a long one. Jesus. This is game 2, and we're an hour in. And I'm pretty sure it's mostly because of this game. I don't think there's anything he can do. Like, he can take the last 4 harems and end the game, but that's only 8 points, and I don't know where the rest of his points are coming from in that case. This is actually a weird situation to be in. If I only have one money with the singular coffer, I would like to play the carriages and just smuggle a bunch of golds, and then buy an estate for points. But actually, I'm one coin too short of being able to buy even an estate. Yes, I think he just has to take province and nothing else. If he takes duchy, I smuggle them. If he takes harems, I smuggle them. But like, that's going to cause this turn to be a nothing turn for me. But then he still can't score another 24 points or however much in the required time, and I'll win like next turn or so. Okay, he's taking snowies. So now I can take 4 snowy villages. Or duchies. Hello, duchies. I'll take you instead, I suppose. Makes no difference to me. All points. And buys. Alright, GG. Kind of glad that game is over, to be honest.